Hello folks and welcome to Monday's edition of Magoo Sports News. I am as ever Magoo. There was plenty of action on at the weekend, so I enjoyed the shit out of it, so I'm gonna get straight into the action. Here's what's happened. So folks, I will start with the football as always. Copa America, not an amazing start to the tournament, I must say myself. Couple of games just to note. Argentina only mustered a draw with Bolivia, and it was a very late goal from Aguero. Essentially they had lots of attacking play, Argentina, but they just didn't have any final product. To be honest with you, probably a bit nervous, so nothing too much to worry about there. The other game to mention was Brazil versus Venezuela, and again, Brazil seemed to be shooting blanks just like Argentina. I mean, they just had all the play. I mean, they had literally about 10 to 15 attempts on goal, but only one, I think, even attempt on target, so pretty duff. You have to ask yourself the question though, has Neymar literally bottled it on the big stage, or can he do it? I mean, yeah, he does well for Santos, but I mean, when it comes to the big stage, a lot of players do bottle it. So we'll see what happens anyway, but pretty poor start to that tournament. Into the Under-17s World Cup, and it was the quarter-final stage. Only a couple of games. Brazil beat Japan 3-2, and Uruguay beat Uzbekistan. So they both go through to the semi-finals, and the other quarter-finals are tonight. Now the big fight that everybody was anticipating. Everyone was saying David Hayes gonna do it, this, that and the other, but unfortunately it was a big letdown. £15 waste of money, I don't know. Anyway, basically Klitschko showed him, it was a masterclass of boxing. He just showed him that he was literally the best boxer in the world at the heavyweight division, and to be fair, he was. Hay just basically couldn't get near the guy. He was much taller, he had a bigger reach, and Hay just didn't stand a chance. I mean, to be fair as well, Klitschko actually didn't do that much in the fight. You know, I mean, everyone was saying, oh, Klitschko's going to knock him out, you know, all the Klitschko fans, but he didn't actually. He landed a couple of punches, you know, but nothing to really scare the guy. So it was kind of 12 rounds of kind of each guy sparring each other and not wanting to lose. Bit of a shame. Worst thing about the fight was David Hay coming out after it, or just, you know, once the fight had finished and saying, oh, I broke my toe so I couldn't explode with my power. Bullshit, man. You lost. Take it like a man and say you lost to the better guy. So anyway, moving on into the tennis and the Wimbledon semi-finals and final. I'll just quickly mention the semi-finals. Andy Murray got beat by Nadal. This was a game of one shot. I mean, it's amazing how momentum can change after just one single shot. I'm sure you all know exactly which shot I was talking about. Andy Murray, he was firing on all cylinders. He has a forehand pretty much down the line and he hits it long. After that, you could see the energy just drain from the guy, and the belief. That's his biggest problem, is belief. He needs to believe he can beat these guys, and he will. So anyway, other semi-final, Novak Djokovic. Djokovic beat Joe Wilfried Tsonga. Not too many problems there. I mean, Tsonga had a bit of a comeback, but Djokovic went through. So the final, and Djokovic basically showed his true talent. I've always said for a long time, this guy is exceptionally good. You're talking, I mean, you'd say Nadal and Federer were one of the greats, but Federer is what was one of the greats, but he's a bit old now. Nadal is one of the greats, but Federer just took him apart. Unbelievable final. He wins Wimbledon, goes to world number one. Can he continue his form and win more Grand Slams? We'll wait and see. So into the Super League, and a fantastic weekend of Super League. Not brilliant for Castleford though. They got beaten by Warrington 48-18. Basically now Castleford have to watch themselves because they're lingering sort of just in the top 8. Hull and Salford are on their tails for that top 8 place, so they need to win a couple of games. They've got Wigan on Wednesday night, but top 5 teams all won over the weekend, so it was as you were. They're kind of moving off. Wigan basically beat Leeds in a tense affair. What a match this was, toing and froing. Leeds were winning at half-time, but Wigan pulled it back. Huddersfield beat the Crusaders as well, 40-12. The league itself now is separated into 2 mini leagues. The top 5, basically, who's going to get that 4th place? Because if you get the 4th place, you get a week off in the, before the playoffs start. If you finish 5th, you're in that bottom 4 playoff situation. And then basically the position to see who finishes 8th. So good weekend of Super League. Cricket, Sri Lanka beat England to take a 2-1 lead in the series. Nothing really much to report here. Alistair Cook got 100, and a young Sri Lankan lad, 21 years old, can't remember his name, but he was 94 he was. Sri Lanka basically had to hit 6 to win, and basically the guy stayed on the crease. England were throwing a wobbly because of this, I don't know why, but anyway, 2-1 lead. Good on your Sri Lanka. Golf, Thomas Levay won his home Open, which was the French Open, so good on him. He's quite an old fella, hasn't won for a while. Nick Watney won the AT&T National in America, shot a 62, which is a course record on Friday, to put himself in position, so fantastic result for him. And one thing to watch out for in the golf, if you have a chance, go on to skysports.com, go to the video section and look at Bubba Watson. This is an American golfer that was invited to come over to Europe and play in the French Open, and basically he shot an awful round. He was appalling and he blamed the crowd. It was almost as bad as David Hayes' toe excuse. Basically he says that there was no ropes, crowd could come and go wherever they want, he wasn't used to it, blah 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 blah. It was like toys out the pram. Bubba, get a grip, man. You were invited over, you were paid to come over and play this tournament. Enjoy it and stop being a whingy little bitch. Anyway, last thing I want to mention was the Super 15 semi-finals in the Rugby Union, and I said this is the pinnacle of club rugby. It was an almighty couple of games. The Blues lost to the Queensland Reds 30-15, which means that an Australian team will be in the final of the Super 15. In the other semi-final, the South Africans, the Stormers, lost to the Canterbury Crusaders. They lost 29-10, and literally it flattered, 10 points flattered the Stormers. The Crusaders were ruthless. They controlled the whole game. They were amazing on defence, they were amazing in the scrum, they were amazing on attack. They were just so good. The back pair of Sonny Bill Williams and Robbie Fruin, unbelievable. Watch out for those two guys in the World Cup for the All Blacks. They could destroy a few teams. So great results there. So I will do the preview next, coming up. So folks, even though Wimbledon has finished, there's still a bit of sport coming on this week. Don't worry, we've got the Copa America, which continues. I know a lot of the games are on at ridiculous times. Unfortunately, the biggest game of the week is Argentina-Colombia, and that's at 1:45 in the morning on Wednesday night. Bit of a shame. If you fancy staying up for it, I'm sure it's going to be a great game because Colombia won their first game. This is a sort of top of the table clash. In the golf, I've got my golfing hat on this week, guys, because there's going to be a couple of weeks of fantastic golf. First and foremost, I have to mention the Barclays Scottish Open. This, folks, is in my hometown of Inverness, and I am looking forward to it so much. Basically, Castle Stewart Links Golf Course. It's on the sort of coast of the Moray Firth, and it's a beautiful course. A beautiful part of the world in Scotland, in the Highlands. I'll have to say, the field for the Scottish Open this year, it is the biggest field that you will see outside of a major. The only player not playing realistically is Tiger Woods because he's injured, and I think a couple of the American guys. Bubba Watson's obviously not going to be there because he's a bitch and he doesn't want to play in any European events. He needs his donuts and his coffee. Get lost, Bubba, we don't even want you at our tournament. But it's a huge event. If anybody in Inverness has a chance to go to this, I say go to it. It's going to be fantastic. So that starts on Thursday. In fact, it starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, so if anyone fancies early rise, watch out for it. Also, the John Deere Classic on the USPGA. This is the last chance for people to qualify for the Open Championship, which comes up next weekend. So watch out for that. That's Thursday, guys. Super League, big game. Like I said, Castleford have to start winning games if they're going to finish in that top 8 and get into the playoffs. They play Wigan, who, as everybody knows, are on fire. Second in the Super League. Going to be a big game for them. That's 8 o'clock on Wednesday. And then in the cricket, it's the 4th one-day international between England and Sri Lanka. Maybe worth a watch. That's on Wednesday as well. And that's all the sport we've got coming up this week, guys. Bit of a slow week of sport, but should be good anyway. Anyway, that's all we'll talk about just now. So folks, that's everything for this week. Don't forget, any user comments, give a shout below. Go on, I'll have a wee chat. I'm off to basically watch some more sport. It was an amazing weekend of sport. All the best, and see you guys on Friday.